should we should go ahead and get started. First of all, I would like to welcome everybody. My name is Ashaki Binta, and I'm co-coordinator with Jalil, Brother Jalil Muntaqim of the National Mobilization Against Genocides. And we welcome all of you and thank all of you. We're excited about the program, the gathering that we're convening in Atlanta on July 4th and 5th. And so we appreciate you all being here to help with, to kind of give a sense of the showing that we're going to have down there, people coming through. So what we want to do at this, probably our last major organizing meeting, there'll be other meetings, I'm sure, but this is the last one before we actually get to July 4th. So, what we'd like to do tonight, we have two wonderful guest speakers, that will, present for us, Nancy Mansour of Eyewitness Palestine and Rosa Perez, former political prisoner from the Puerto Rican independence movement. And then we'll get into updates on the nuts and bolts around what's going on the day of July 4th. So some of us will present a little bit on that, and then we'll have some presentation on to update people on the ideas and plans for July 5th, the meeting to follow from Saturday. And then we'll open it up for questions, concerns, and discussion on any points that people want to try to tackle. So that should be our meeting for the evening. So again, thank you for being here. Is Brother Jalil on? Not on yet?
I don't think he's on yet. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead then with announcing our first speaker of the evening. Is Sister Nancy. Is she here? She's present. Okay, Nancy Mansour, a Palestinian activist and director of Eyewitness Palestine and founder of Existence is Resistance. And we welcome her and invite her to be our first speaker tonight, and she can add anything that she may have to introduce herself, but I'd like to turn it over to Nancy. Is she here? Sister Dequi, do you know if she's here or not, or?
No, I can't. I don't see her, but I can call her.
Okay, well then let's move on. Hopefully she'll be on in a few minutes. Let's move on to Comrade Luis Rosa Perez, who's a Puerto Rican activist and former political prisoner and co-founder of Occupy People's Forum. So let's turn it over to Brother Luis. Thank you for being here, comrade. It's wonderful to see you again.
Likewise, thank you. Greetings to all my comrades. Much love and respect to everyone here. I see my comrade Edwin there, Dequi, Matt, and all the others. I'm very honored to be here again with this forum. And we have a lot to talk about, right? We have an upcoming activity where we're going to spoil the anniversary of the colonizers, spoil the day where they celebrate 250 years of genocide and abuse and and colonization, and not only within their own borders, but externally within countries like Puerto Rico and Palestine, where they help Zionist settler nations colonize there as well. And why are we going to do this? Why are we going to protest this celebration? Because what does it mean to those who have been enslaved, to those who have been kidnapped and brought here? What does this celebration mean to them? What does it mean to colonized nations to celebrate 250 years of independence of a nation that has done us wrong in every which way? And so we must be here. We must be here to organize. We must be here to educate, to rewrite this history, and also to transcend, become better human beings, better people in struggle with this. There is many methods that the colonizers are using to re-enslave us, to re-colonize us, and to make their genocide much more effective. They're interested, I said this before in a quote, Pedro Aviso Campos, they're interested in the cage and not the bird in the cage. They're interested in our land, they're interested in what we have built and not necessarily us. So we're expendable to them. And they've shown this throughout their history, throughout their 250 years that they celebrate. They have shown this, that we're expendable to them. Right now in Puerto Rico, this colonization has taken on different faces. Sometimes it acts like a butterfly with flapping beautiful wings, beautiful colors to entice and to fool people, right? They talk about progress and talk about development in our country, when what we face, what the reality is that we are being displaced, we are being gentrified, our ecology is being destroyed. Just recently, they passed another law that would allow them to destroy the mountainous regions of our land, what's called the Carso region, that filtrates the water, that we have a subterranean water source. They have made it easy for speculators to come in while pushing us out. As a result, over 5 million Puerto Ricans reside now in the diaspora, where there's less than 3 million here in Puerto Rico. As a result, we have less than 1% of the growth rate, infant growth rate. There's less than 1% babies being born in Puerto Rico as a result of this. So while half our nation is being pushed out, our nation is not growing. We're not populating. Babies are not being born in Puerto Rico, and they're at the same time they're taking our youth with promises of grandeur and gold in the United States and to work in the workforce. So, and this is the same thing we're facing throughout all our communities. Gentrification has been prevalent in all our communities. Edwin can speak on what's happening in Chicago. I'm sure that we can speak on Houston and elsewhere. Matt can also speak on what's happening not only in the United States, but around the world. Gentrification, they're taking over what they want to play with. They're using some of the land to be able to play with, and they're using some of the land to be able to grow products that they need. For instance, in Puerto Rico, the Zionists have occupied some of this land over here, and they're using it for agricultural purposes and to experiment with new crops that they can develop or sell over there and develop to bring to their countries. So we're facing a new method of colonization and genocide, and we must be as creative or more creative than them if we want to survive, if we want to stay alive as a nation, as nations. And we must do this collectively because I think we have a common enemy, and we have to think about common strategies to defeat this enemy. We have to confront them in every aspect, uh, in every sector of society as well. So I'm kind of jumping around. I'm not a very motivational speaker or fiery speaker. I tend to like to answer questions rather than
Fine.
but we have a common theme for July 4th, and I think to struggle against genocide, to struggle against colonization, that unites us all. And I think we need to really think about what we do, not only July 4th, but what we do after, because most of our momentum sometimes goes into planning an event and not into the continuation of this event. We have a lot of things that we can fall back on and build as a foundation. We have the tribunals that was held in not only in Puerto Rico, but the indigenous countries, indigenous land in Colorado. We have the latest from the Malcolm X grassroots in the People's Senate, the tribunal that was held there. We have foundation for our work. What we need is continuation. What we need is to follow up. And I think July 4th is a continuum, but we need to start thinking as well what we do after July 4th, how we continue this work. It's a great event that's been planned throughout the United States. I think it exposes a lot of the atrocities the U.S. government has committed on third world people of color, not only with ICE, not only with the funding of the policies that they have installed of forced migration of sending people out of the country, of incarceration. We have to educate on this, and we have to think about what we do afterwards. I don't know. Let me open it up for questions or any comments, and then we can continue on.
Okay. Does anyone have a question for Brother Luis? Maple?
Can you hear
Go
me?
ahead.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
my videos where it just keeps going off and stuff. So, but yeah, Luis, I just wondered if you can describe a little more in detail about the hills and what they're doing. Like, a lot of Latin American countries, they're fighting dams, losing their lives, fighting their big, huge dams, and then deforestation. Just a little bit about exactly what kind of BS they're trying to do to your ecological place.
Yeah, I mean, the goal of any colonizer is not only our extermination, but to steal resources. What they're doing in Venezuela, what they're trying to do in Cuba, what they're doing in Puerto Rico with a lot of these projects is to steal the resources, create money zones for them. And you're going to see there was a general in the United States that a few years ago under the Biden administration that said Bolivia has lithium, Chile has this and that, Venezuela has petroleum. We need all that, so we're going to take it. And they're blunt about it. They're very frank about it. So all these things that you're looking at, all these ecological disasters, the burning down of forests in Patagonia and Argentina, their response to an imperialistic set of mind that thinks that everything belongs to them and that they're gonna take it one way or another. So we have a big confrontations here in Puerto Rico in the area of Cabo Rojo, where they want to create a project called Esencia. that's going to rob basically 600 acres of land and create 3 hotels, 2 golf ranges. None of this is for us. We're very clear about this. None of this is for Puerto Ricans to have to live in. We can't afford $1 million homes, $1 million mansions, and so who is this being created for? And you find the same type of thing happening in even in Greece and all around the world where the billionaires are going out to buy these lands and set up shop in these countries. And that's very prevalent here in Cabo Rojo, and places like Loíza. They have a major project, and throughout the island. So they're displacing us little by little, and they're taking over this land. And what we've learned from all wars and all colonization is that it's done for resources, and it's done for markets and resources. Puerto Rico happens to be the second largest market in Latin America for the United States, and the 5th in the world for U.S. products. So that's what they want to keep, and that's what they want to expand on.
Thank you very much. Let's take one more. I think I saw a question in the chat. Sister Anna, did you want to raise a question? I thought I saw your hand.
Yes, I want if Luis can. I did a lot of work around freeing the Puerto Rican political prisoners in New York. And Luis is one of the political prisoners that we fought to release from prison. Luis, if you can speak about the history of sterilization of the Puerto Rican women in Puerto Rico as an element of genocide, and also the militarization, the remilitarization of Puerto Rico to access using Puerto Rico as a launching pad to attack sister countries like Venezuela and Cuba. If you can speak about that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, Puerto Rico at one point had 13 of the largest U.S. bases in the world was in Puerto Rico. They controlled I think it was 30% of the land, of the fertile land and the coastal lands in the island. And from these bases, they've launched many wars throughout Latin America, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua. A lot of these invasions. Grenada, absolutely, Santo Domingo. And most recently, Venezuela. Venezuela was rehearsed and done from here, from Puerto Rico. They reopened bases that were closed, that we forced to close. They reopened for Venezuela. And right here in the town where Edwin's parents and myself live, in Aguadilla, in the base here, the Ramey military base, you can see the Reaper drones. There was like 13 Reaper drones there. There was Black Ops. There was all kind of military equipment there that was being used in Venezuela. So they reopened some of these bases, and we're a colony. So they can do with us what they want. It's up to our resistance to stop them, right? And as far as the sterilization of women, as a colony, and this happens not only with us, but it happens with the internal colonies of the United States, where you have the Tuskegee Project, you have other projects happening in the United States that were being experimented on the internal colonies. We had experimentations on us, especially our women, where 33% of our women were sterilized without knowing. There's a great movie called La Operación, the operation, that talks about this, and it gives you illustrations on how this was done, how they went to communities and forced the first birth control pill ever tested on a woman was in Puerto Rico. So they had done this, and we know what the women represents in our society. Without the power of women in our country, and we have great examples of revolutionary women throughout our history. One of the first political prisoners was a Puerto Rican woman, and we've had. In our case, we had 5 different women who were participated. Lolita Lebron in 1954 shot up Congress and led the Nationalist Party in that action. So we know how powerful attacking our women, what it means to attack our women. That's and they know it. So they know that one way to destroy a nation is to destroy that force.
Thank you so much, Brother Luis. Wonderful presentation reminding us of the real conditions that we have, the oppressed nationalities inside of the United States that, are fighting for liberation, and, what will be on display on July 4th, demonstrating our 250 years of resistance to U.S. imperialism and to the ongoing, consolidation of fascism now in this country. So very, very important showing. I'm going to ask if Sister Nancy did she come on? Was she able to join us? I don't see her anywhere. Brother Matt, your hand is up.
I'm not sure if she's joined us, and I know there's still people coming in, and I know Sister DeQuee is trying to reach her. I wanted to say
Okay.
one very, very quick thing in regard to the last comment, because I know there are a number of you from all around the empire, and some may not be aware. It was a little bit of a I wouldn't call it a softball question, but Ana Lopez is a lot more than just a person who. She's absolutely one of the leaders who fought for the release of
Very
the Puerto
good.
Rican
That's right.
prisoners, including Luis and Eddie Cortez, who are with us here tonight. Professor Ana Lopez of Ostos University is also got to be one of the key people who could answer quite articulately the question she asked Luis.
Yes.
A true hero and expert in the Puerto Rican colonial experience in the diaspora and on the island. And needs to be recognized as one of our heroes. Also part of the Women United Against Genocide grouping that's been part of our structures. So I couldn't really let Ana ask that simple question and fade away without sending some kudos to you, my dear sister.
Absolutely. Thank you,
I was
Matt.
thinking in my mind that Ana and Luis should be speaking together, representing, but
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you
There-
so much. So let's move for, did you want to say something, Brother Luis?
Yeah, there's a question that Brother Ethan McKelvin asked about the trade unions in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Okay, this will be our last one, and then we'll move to the next one.
We have been under the Jones Act and the 4-Acre Act, where the law of it's called the Ley de Cabotaje. I don't know what it's called in English. I forgot. But it controls our shipping. Controls the transport of goods in and out of Puerto Rico. And because as a result, we have to pay 3 times as much for shipping to come in, for ships to come into to Puerto Rico, and they have to be captained by American captains, right? Under the American flag. The trade unions in Puerto Rico have gone against the will of the Puerto Rican people to end this law. We have protested this law for a long time, and a lot of the trade unions, including the longshore, the people involved in the shipping industry, have gone against us requesting an end to this law. This is an unjust law that makes us pay 3 times as much for a product entering Puerto Rico. Sometimes we produce what we don't, we produce what we don't consume, and consume what we don't produce. As a result, 87% of the food and things we receive from the United States is not produced here. And when we send stuff out, like pharmaceuticals, for instance, that is produced in Puerto Rico, they're sent to the United States, bottled there, or packaged there and sent back. We have to pay for that transit. And the trade unions, some of them have responded more to the interests of trade leaders and stuff in the United States than the interests of the people of Puerto Rico. There are some that have been good, and we continue to work with them. But there's some that have not been as forthcoming with the right of workers in Puerto Rico.
Thank you, comrade. Very good. All right, I'd like to move forward from here, and we'll call on our dear brother and comrade Jihad Abdul Mumid, and to ask him to, kind of do an overview of what to expect on what kind of a day and program we're going to have on July 4th, and any kind of logistical information he would like to share. So, Brother Jihad, thank you.
Yes, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Sister Ashaki, and greetings to everybody. Alhamdulillah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Yeah, some very good, juicy updates that I think everybody can resonate with. It's a lot of on the ground, mobilizing and organizing. This is a major event. So some of it may be redundant for half of you and some new information. But for the new ones that's on the call, I hope you get excited by what I want to say. Yeah, somebody repeat in the chat, juicy updates. That was a word just come to my mind. But yeah, so the West End Park, also known as Malcolm X Park, the venue is, if you're not familiar with that part of Atlanta, that's the area that Imam Jamil Al-Amin cultivated with the masjid there, with the national community. That area would be, because of that, influenced by his presence there. So it is a progressive area right around there. And so it was also the venue about 3 weeks ago of the Malcolm X grassroots movement with the Malcolm X birthday celebration there. So the park the area is acclimated to this type of venue. So ours would be a little more focused on politics about survival and all the things that Comrade Luis just presented to you. So we have that park from 12 to 9. We will have a slew of speakers, no long lectures. We're just trying to get as many people to introduce themselves and what they're about as it relates to the charges of genocide and where we're going with the People's Senate to do their presentations. So we have a slew of people, also sisters and brothers from the local Atlanta area presenting also, along with those that's coming from out of town. 12 to 9, vendors, food trucks. We have entertainment that's going to be interspersed amongst the speakers so we can have some fun, so doing some progressive socializing and networking in the crowd. So we hope you'll be excited about that. Those that's coming from out of town, we have to rely on you to kind of organize your own efforts to get here. If in fact it is your desire to come, hopefully you can collectively do that in your own areas. We will be, inshallah, establishing watch parties where it will be live stream. And if you can't come, you might be able to organize something right in your living room or in a community center or a space where sisters and brothers can come throughout the day and see what's actually going on and what's happening. So yeah, that is it. So we have the park permits, we're not bogarting the area, so I don't want somebody to think what's going on. So it's fully legit. We will have, for those of us that's 65 and older, sprinkled throughout the venue, so you don't have to walk too far to, take care of business. We will have an area for the salat for the Muslims to pray. We will have a first aid tent there for any issues that come up. And like I said, we will have vendors. We have internal and external security, which is important. We have our own security internal, and by requirements for the city of Atlanta, Georgia, we have to have a police presence, so don't freak out. They're mainly there for parking. We have to block off 2 streets around the park area. So their presence is required by the protocols of having a major event at any park. So that is pretty much taken care of. There are some other few things that we're taking care of on this end. with the city, which I am, Jihad Abdul Hamid, inshallah, is responsible for. That's going pretty smooth. The day after, so this is the primer. And as Luis said, what resonated with what he said, what really stood out is like what comes after. A lot of energy is going into preparing this event, as with a lot of events, but what comes after? We just was at a powerful event in New York for the send-off of a comrade sister, Asada Shakur. The question is, what comes after when you have 2,000 people in a space? What do we do? And so this is not a protest event as such. This is a infrastructure building event about dealing with the question about survival and development and alternative governance in a place called the United States of America. That's what is remiss in our whole movement for the most part. We get a good B+ on protests all the way from Gaza to what's happening around the world, to all the aggression in Latin and South America. But what are we doing to really build a foundation where our voice becomes strong, where we become united through actionable programs so we can learn how to work together? It would be the Black Panther Party survival program on steroids. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about establishing. How do we govern ourselves, protect ourselves? How do we handle the issues in our own communities? How do we address food, clothing, and shelter? How do we address mass incarceration and police and state-sponsored violence? How do we address the continuing ever building network of political prisoners? How do we support them and deal with that? How do we deal with environmental racism? That makes a difference, when we're strong and united. So this event, the day after, we will have to be announced the venue. Where community leaders, representatives, and perhaps you yourself on this call will be able to come to a space the day after, that Sunday after, inshallah. Roll up your sleeves, put on your thinking cap, and be able to extrapolate the wisdom from each and every one of us in that room. How can we push forward this initiative called the People's Senate? What would that look like? We have a vision. And now we need a collective mind to push us through several glass ceilings that are very, very important. So this is our initiative. When I say our, I'm talking about collectively with everybody on this call and those, a couple of thousand that signed up on the People's Senate initiative that's not on this call. How do we build that type of national structure, which we do not have? We have a lot of boots on the ground, community organizations that's doing tremendous, phenomenal. Now, how do we loop them into a network that with vetted communication, where we can prioritize resources and needs and be dispersed of them, and we can become, through those working efforts, not theorizing and talking about it, but actually working together, learn how to work with one another out of the silos of our own organization. So that day after is critically important. So once again, the July 4th is to build and energize the base. I don't want to sound like Barack Obama. I got that line from him. Energize the base. And that's what it's doing, energizing us, networking, and building that communication amongst ourselves in preparation for the day after, which is going to be very, very important, very akin to the 1968 building of the Republic of New Africa and any other national mobilization that's taken place throughout our history. And we want you to be a part of it. And we want you to bring your thinking and your ideas to build out this specific initiative. So I'm open for any questions, Ashaki sister, that anybody may have. I hope I can answer them at this point. Alhamdulillah.
And thank you so much, Brother Jihad. And what we'll do is we're going to move next to a discussion on, the contents that we're thinking of in terms of July 5th. But if anyone has questions for Brother Jihad right now, this be a great time to raise that. Kathleen, go ahead, sister.
Yeah, nice to see you, Jihad.
Likewise,
What
sister.
else do? But I haven't seen you for a while, so it's a more of a practical question and more particularly related to the watch parties. Would it be possible to actually know what the program's going to be in terms of the speakers, a list of them, and can it be divided into like a 2-hour or 2.5-hour segment? Because with the watch parties, people are not going to stay there from 12 to 9, obviously. And most people, I'm guessing it'll be 2.5 hours is our estimate. So is it possible to have the program provided like that? And I also, that would be very helpful for the watch parties. And in a particular thing for us in Buffalo, Juneteenth is coming up next weekend. They're having it early, and we want to leaflet for our watch party then. So whatever we can have that's concrete to let people know, that would be a big help.
Yeah, right on, Sister Kathleen, and it's good to see you too. Yes, and I don't. People may not want to stay, you know, from 12 to 9. That's about 3 or 4 orders of pizza. So we, yeah, that's a lot. And we will have that flow of the program, the run of the program, presented soon. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we have a meeting to kind of like begin to really develop. We have it already laid out, but the actual order of it, which that's what you're asking about. So, I definitely want to be there for that 2 o'clock or such and such.
Exactly, like from 12 to 2, these are the speakers, and from, you know, something like that.
Yeah, and you have a Juneteenth. What day is that actually going to be for you?
The 13th and 14th.
Mm-hmm. 13th and 14th. Well,
next weekend, basically.
we can hopefully maybe we can give you a pre-program subject to minor changes. You know.
Yeah.
That we can give you something to work with by that time. You know, and subject to changes as people add on and come on and stuff like that, and as we develop our funding source and things of that nature. So yes, definitely. So,
that would be a big help. Thanks.
Thank you for bringing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
On. Very good, sis.
Anybody else want to talk about, have a question or a comment about Saturday's program? Okay.
Hi, this is Nathanette with the Fruit of Labor World Cultural Center and Singing Ensemble and Black Workers for Justice. I wanted to ask, how do we get on the call tomorrow?
The call.
Our call tomorrow
For
where we're planning for the meeting.
Yeah, that's developing the program. The run of the program.
That's that committee that does that. So you won't be getting that call, but the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday, first Wednesday and the third Saturday, we'll be opening up. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. For that information to be chopped up and shared and looked at for everybody. And the regional coordinators throughout the country will be there on those particular meetings. And if you can make sure you put in your chat that we have your information, so you make sure you have the information for when that meeting happens. I think Matt has his hand up.
Well, just to, to do what you just asked me to do. So, yeah, the next meeting that Jihad is talking about, where all of you and others are invited and welcome, is Saturday, June 20th at 12 noon Eastern time. But if you have a particular, and any of you, Nathanette, and any of you have a particular idea for a speaker on July 4th, or a cultural worker, a dancer, singer, poet, etc., that program is not closed. It is 9 hours of programming, so we need a lot of people. We're not asking anyone to give speeches. We're looking for 5-minute short interventions. But if you have an idea, don't wait till Saturday, June 20th. You can contact us immediately tonight, etc. And we can put some of our emails of the program committee into the chat now, and you can have that input, ask questions, give comments, give ideas, etc. And then we'll talk about it as a whole group on that Saturday, June 20th.
Okay.
Like to look at a situation as well where, we can come together with Fruit of Labor with for the Jihad and, other cultural workers and talk a little bit more about the program for that day, ideas that people may have. That's something that we can also try to facilitate as soon as possible.
I'm sorry. Is Nathanette one of the coordinators? Yes. Oh, yes. Wait a second. Okay, I am. Let me just say something. Okay, I just put 2 and 2 together. So now I understand who you are. Ashaki can say a lot more. Black Workers for Justice has an extraordinary cultural group, which Nathanette is apparently a leader of. I don't know the sister, and they are coordinating cultural and performance for the whole day. So for you, it's a special answer. For everyone, what I said holds, but for the cultural coordinators for the entirety of July 4th, let's talk. Ashaki can hook you up with those things. But let's just say a big thank you for Black Workers for Justice and for Fruit of Labor. That's the name of the organization. Yeah, Nathanette,
Yes.
nice to meet you.
Likewise. Pleasure.
All right, so let's move on. If anyone else, we'll try to deal with that immediately, Nate. But we want to talk a little bit about July 5th, what the outline is there. I'm going to ask Brother Matt to come forward and at least lay out where we are on the plan for that day now. Maybe Meg also may have some input on that for the July 5th. So let me turn it over to Matt for that in a few minutes, and then we'll open up for more general input.
So very quickly, we've had a good, strong committee on July 5th workshops. I'm going to speak on behalf of the core, the coordinating core, and share something new that essentially no one's seen onto the screen to give people a little taste of it. Baba Jihad just said that you'll find out about the venue. Well, you're going to find out about it right now. So this is the tentative schedule for Sunday, July 5th. I want to say a couple of things about it, and we'll scroll down and get a sense. This is tentative. It is still in process, but it's pretty solidly confirmed, and it's, I think, pretty exciting. We all know, as Sister Ashaki and Baba Jihad and all of our leadership has said, that this is not a plan to be a one-day thing. It's not an anti thing. It's a pro thing. It's building people's movement. It's building a movement against genocides. It's a celebration of our resistance and continuation of future resistance, more unified, hopefully, and more effective than ever. So because of that, July 5th is seen by many as an important time to be together and talk about some of these continuation things. But I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this sheet, which will be available to everyone, emailed to folks tomorrow. That July 5th program is designed as the best use of a special opportunity, given that so many of us will be in person in Atlanta. It is not meant as an exhaustive review of all the major issues we are concerned about. At least one full day teaching is being planned for the future. So check your emails on the Spirit of Mandela Coalition website for more information. We should not think that July 5th even is the end. It's just an opportunity to continue the discussion beyond our festival and celebration on the 4th. So the day will begin at Agnes Scott College, which is a central location in Decatur, Georgia, available through Atlanta subways, public transport. And we'll begin with 2 meetings that pretty much are invitational. So some of y'all will be able to sleep in a little bit on Sunday or have your own other meetings. National Youth and Student Power Convergence will be taking place. They have their own call. They're doing their own organizing. They have a grouping of youth and student leaders who are pulling that together. And then at the same time, the National Leadership Strategic Planning meeting will take place. This is by invitation only. This is mainly for organizational reps, representatives of particular national, international, or key regional groupings. If you're really interested in joining that meeting and are not part of an organization, you can obviously talk to one of us, but we're trying to keep that meeting very, very focused and very concrete on coalition building in that organizational sense. The workshops will begin at 2. and last for a couple of hours, and there will be 6 workshops. There are many, many others, and we know of several others already that came to the committee late, and we're trying to incorporate some of those ideas into the planning still. So what you're seeing is not it's ink to paper, but it's not stone. There will be some modifications in all of these cases, and we're very pleased that we have in each of these, or through the context of each of these 6 webinars, people from every region of the country, West Coast, Midwest, Southwest, Southeast, Northeast, and the external colonies. The basic structure of the workshops, why 6, is that there'll be a workshop focusing on each of the counts of human rights abuses that the US was found guilty of genocide, when you put them all together over time and over these spaces. So we have police killings with our dear sister Dequi and some of our dear comrades in community movement builders Stop Cup City. We have mass incarceration with our own Jalil Muntaqim, who I think just was able to join us. He had a major event out of the town he lives in, that he was organizing in today, and so just came onto the Zoom now, and several of our West Coast comrades joining him for that. Political imprisonment, we have Ashanti Alston, many former political prisoners here on the Zoom in our leadership and in the workshop leaders there, along with Tanya Siddiqui and others. The Health Inequities workshop is going to feature Dr. Okai Peterson, who many of you know, studied with Matulu Shakur and others, and Bob Letter of Out FM, Pacifica Radio, one of our dear comrades, is going to help facilitate that workshop. And environmental racism, Evie Reyes-Aguirre and Meg Starr, also with a very special guest. We are still getting confirmation, so it's invited there. But Tom Goldtooth, the long-term executive director of the Indigenous Environmental Network, a great Indigenous leader, is almost confirmed to be part of that workshop there. And then with the 5 counts, there is the 6th. And the 6th is going to be on the People's Senate very specifically, looking at some of the issues of the People's Senate, but also looking at people's structures and campaigns outside of the Senate and how they can fit together. So Jihad and Ashaki will be involved with that, but also we have a leader of the National Democratic Socialists of America, part of the Marxist Unity Group Caucus, talking about some of their work around constitutional issues. We're going to hear from Luis a little bit about the Occupy People's Forum, and there are other folks who are not listed here, talking about different aspects of building people's structures and people's campaigns, people's strike, people's assemblies, and such like that. So again, still in process, but in general, here's the outline. And again, there may be a little fine tuning between now and tomorrow morning, but at a certain point, everyone should get this schedule in their emails. And if you're able to stay around for July 5th, we look forward to being part of that with you. Let me say 2 other things while I have the mic, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
I think it's important to note, you know, we know there are always last minute emergencies, and we've had a couple of them in the course of the 4 webinars we've done. But before we put out any listing of speakers, and we've already had a list of speakers that have gone out, we want to confirm a high priority, even though it's not one of the 5 counts of genocide. We wanted to confirm as a high priority, as a coalition, that Spirit of Mandela would not go forward on July 4th without a major speaker from Palestine. And Nancy Mansour, though she couldn't join us tonight for reasons we don't know, is that speaker. She's a dear friend of many of ours, and she is a key leader, both historically of Existence as Resistance, but then also more recently of this group, Eyewitness Palestine, that she's helped found. Palestine U.S. activist, and she'll be bringing us some important updates from the front, as well as from the Palestinian diaspora here in the U.S. So we really honor her and are very excited about her presence with us in person in Atlanta. The other thing to note is that there are several things that are just bubbling up and emerging. We have several people from Chicago, and the Chicago Puerto Rican community is doing their own event, No Kings, No Colonies, in Humboldt Park in Chicago on July 4th. the John Brown grouping, a bunch of white anti-imperialists from upstate New York, one of John Brown's places that he lived, as well as Harper's Ferry, as well as Connecticut and California, all have key historic John Brown committees, and they are doing something on July 4th that are hooking up in connection with us. So we're going to do some interconnecting through live streaming and videotaping with several efforts around the country. There's also Latinx Freedom, our sister Johanna Fernandez, who's doing some events from this Latinx Freedom umbrella that are doing some events in Washington, D.C., and I believe Chicago and New York on July 4th. So there are several other things happening on July 4th, but we're trying to really make it under one big tent, connecting with all of our comrades from near and from far. And then finally, I'll just say, just not even ready to put out a sheet of paper. And again, we're going to put all this into emails to all of you that have given us your email addresses. But it does look like on the morning of July 4th, we have a team of several key clergy, Christian, Muslim, I believe Buddhist, Jewish, but mainly Christian and Muslim leaders from Atlanta and elsewhere that are pulling together to have a morning prayer breakfast for resistance and end to all genocides. That's Saturday morning, July 4th at 9 in the morning. And we will let everyone know more about that as information gets confirmed. So things are bubbling. We've got a month. And yes, whether you're doing it by like Sister Kathleen and others, by getting ready for watch parties in your local area, or by figuring out how you're going to get a ticket to Atlanta and get to us, one way or another, things are building and momentum is growing, and it will be exciting to be together 1 month from now.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Brother Matt. Really appreciate the outline there of how things are looking for the day on Sunday to kind of delve in and take care of business. So I'd like to move now to kind of open the discussion here for questions, ideas, and thoughts that anyone may have or may want to share. Meg, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to share on the July 5th to add anything to what Matt has said. Otherwise, I'd like to just open the floor to allow other questions and comments and thinking to come up. So, Meg, did you have anything? And then I see Steve's hand.
Yeah, Steve and I were both on the workshop committee, and I'm going to cede to him, though I feel like there's one thing I might want to tweak. But go ahead, Steve.
Well,
okay, beautiful. Steve.
Meg, I'm going to talk about the People Senate newsletter. So why don't you go ahead?
Okay, never mind. I was just going to say that we got, we advertised for workshop proposals, and we got a few very significant ones really late, and we hope to do two things with those. That move one of them, which is for quite a long, significant, interactive process, to the teach-in conference that we're planning for this coming year, Spirit of Mandela. And the other is a women's one. We're hoping to be able to move some of the speakers from that into significant places in the workshops that stand on the 5 counts of genocide. So the women's voice, like particularly we need some help with the women's voice in the health workshop and some of the other significant workshops. So we'll be in touch with you guys about that.
Great. All right, hold on. Let me get back so I can see everybody. Okay, Steve, did you want to go ahead from here and then see what other?
So a new issue of the People Senate newsletter is about to drop. This is a special double issue, we're calling it Spring Summer 2026. And it's going to have a lot of coverage about the build up to July 4th, the issues that we're dealing with July 4th, etc. So it's going to be ready by the weekend. You can look for it in your email boxes.
either Saturday or Sunday or early next week at the latest. And, you know, a plug for future issues of the newsletter, which is we are always looking for articles on local struggles, events, etc. So don't be shy. You can send them to our email box, which is in the newsletter itself, at the bottom of page 2. And we always look forward to getting.
Can you speak up, Steve? I want to make sure everybody can hear you.
Yeah, we always look forward to getting material from people. Thank you.
Could I go ahead and reserve our hotel for Thursday?
Okay, everybody who's not on the program should mute, please. Thank you. All right, any other comments or questions?
Ashaki, I have my hand up.
Oh, okay, couldn't see it there. Oh, okay, great. Well, welcome, co-coordinator, Brother Jalil, was able to make it in.
Assalamu alaikum,
we
peace,
wanted to,
prosperity, Jumbo. Hafin, Hafadea, Guten Tag, Shalom, whatever your name language. I wish you peace and solidarity. I see we have quite a few people here, 54. And I'm very grateful to see the numbers have risen for this webinar. However, since I was late, and I'll share with you, I was in Albany doing lobbying for housing here in Rochester. I had to meet with some senators and assembly members up there in Albany. Rochester is the 3rd worst city of poverty in New York State, the 5th in the country. We have a infant mortality rate is 5 times higher than the national average as a result of poverty. So dealing with this class struggle, that's what it is, right? Trying to fight for these housing for people, particularly for our babies, is something that we have to engage in. We should be able to engage in on a broader level. So that's where I was, and the reason why I was late getting back was it's a 3.5 hour drive from here where I'm at to Albany and back. Again, there's a reason why I was late. And perhaps I missed something, I don't know, but I got to ask the question. Did the regional coordinators who are here, did they give a report in terms of what they're doing in their regions and how people can connect with them from their regions and develop that kind of a working relationship? If not, I would urge that the regional coordinators who are on to give a update as to what's going on in their regions. And for the 54 people who are on the webinar, to connect. And if your region, if you are from that particular region, please connect with that coordinator, that regional coordinator, so we can have develop a long-term relationship as we move towards building the People's Senate. So that is what I just want to address at this point in time. Right. I also want to thank our presenters today. They did an excellent job from what I heard. They did an excellent job in presenting, and I'm extremely grateful for their participation in this process. But yeah, so I don't know. Again, Ashaki, if I'm remiss, if I'm being redundant, please correct me. But if not, I would like to hear reports from the regionals.
You're not being redundant. We're just opening this process for everybody to speak now. So if regional coordinators are here and want to present an update as to some of the things going on in their areas, it would be great to do it right now. And also if there are any other comments or questions that people have. So do we have one of the regions that would like to report?
Alaikum.
All right, Brother Tariq. Thank you. Go ahead. From the Midwest?
Yes. Midwest, Brother Tariq.
Brother. Yeah.
Thanks. A quick update of the Midwest. I see a couple comrades on. Elder Edward Cortez is here, who Brother Jihad introduced us to. So we're planning to make it there. Of course, I have my family, 4 grandsons, meeting up with my daughter, her crew, another 6. The Rubu Balagoon is online right now. out of Cleveland. He will be on the convoy with us. And I recommend it tonight. I meant to do it before for him to present and maybe speak, because you mentioned it earlier for his presentation. He's got a lot going on, a new African brother. And I do need to contact the sister about Airbnb. So all the residents is fine for room and board. I just need to contact someone about that I seen. I missed the meeting, but I did get the minutes. So I just have to reserve a room there. So the Midwest right now got about 20 that should represent. Looking forward to the event. Prepare to do something for the workshop. Of course, I'll be representing, of course, the Spirit of Mandela Coalition, Prison Lives Matter, and the Jericho. We're gonna represent, have fun, and power to the people.
All right. Thank you so much. It looks like our comrade sister Nancy has been able to join the call tonight. And again, thank you, sister, for being here, for coming. And if you guys don't mind, we'll just interrupt the report backs quickly and just allow her to come forward and say a few words. And then we'll switch back as we move toward conclusion of the meeting. So Sister Nancy Mansour, thank you so much for coming on and joining us. And we're really excited and blessed to have you be able to update us and present on, the important struggle that's going on as far as obviously the genocide against Palestine. So Sister Nancy Mansour. Are you able to unmute, sister? Are you able to unmute? Okay, you're trying. Okay. You keep jumping around. Okay, trying to unmute. All right. Well, yeah, try to deal with that. And is there another report from maybe Northeast?
Sister Mansour, you on the iPhone? Oh, okay. Well, then I can't help. If it's not a computer or iPhone, I can't help.
While we're working on that, could we? Is there a report from Northeast that the coordinators would like to present, just to give an update? Okay, she's going to log in again. Thank you, sister. Who from the Northeast can present? Is that Brother Tag or?
I could give an update.
Jaziri? Brother Jaziri. Okay, go ahead, Brother Jaziri. Thank you.
Nah, peace, free to land. Yeah, so the Northeast update, we had a few meetings last week to really buckle down on, the who's that are trying to attend Atlanta, specifically from the Northeast. So that was really good. I believe we have roughly maybe 25 to 28 people who are trying to come from the Northeast. And so this week going into the next week, we're trying to, really support those folks related to their transportation needs, right? And I know a lot of folks also are trying to figure out their lodging for when they are down there. And so those are some of the major focal points right now for the Northeast, as well as the watch parties, preparing for the watch parties that are happening in different various places in the Northeast as well, and making sure, the technicals are being supported related to those. So there will definitely be a lot of follow-ups related to national, about, you know, the technical stuff for the watch parties, as well as some stuff related to lodging. Yeah, but we're looking forward to, you know, that 25 to 28 folks who are trying to get to Atlanta.
Right. Brother, thank you so much. Let's see, I got to get back. Was Sister Nancy able to get back on? Not yet. Okay. In terms of the West Coast, did anyone want to present on the West Coast, from the West Coast? You know, one of the things to keep in mind is that, you know, this gathering won't be like, you know, the March on Washington in 1963. We were at a different ebb. All of the liberation struggles were rising and coming forward, you know, during that period. This period, you know, we have fascism rising and great repression, and it's a very expensive undertaking, you know, at this point with everything that's been going on. So our gathering is going to be no less important as, you know, liberation forces coming forward to, you know, show the resistance, the ongoing pushing of our liberation struggles into the 21st century and, you know, moving toward victory. But it, you know, we won't have those type of numbers. It's not that type of period that we're in, where we're able in a position to mobilize like that. But it's going to be no less important for us as a gathering to witness and stand that, you know, our struggles, you know, to celebrate the resistance that we've managed to for 250 years, more than 250 years, you know, that we've been able to continue as oppressed peoples in this society, and to, you know, also, you know, as the song said, you know, tell the truth, no more lies. So it's going to be very important. So everything that people can do to get there on July 4th is very meaningful and very important. And but, you know, we're not looking at it to have that, you know, type of presence at this particular time, because it's a different era, a different set of circumstances that we're in. But it's no less valuable and important. So we're looking forward to everybody who can make it, and then any watch parties that people can put on. Very good. And the strategizing that we want to do on Sunday is going to be extremely important. So so did we have anybody from the West Coast that wanted to present or update? If not, then, you know, at least you know, one aspect of things from the South, I asked Brother G has as well if he has any. But Sister Nathanette, would you mind just giving an update on what we're doing in North Carolina to mobilize people down?
So far we are, you know, just assessing whether or not to come by van or bus. We've are putting announcements out and getting information to people. You know, we have Juneteenth celebrations coming up, and, you know, organizational meetings, union meetings, and just trying to get the word out and get commitments from people who are interested in coming. We are hoping to bring some youth with us, um, and hopefully, you know, from the areas of work that we're participating in, some workers in the various counties, whether it be Durham County, Wake County, public workers, and also workers who come out of like chicken industry, poultry industries, workers who are dealing with the environmental justice issues in communities. So hopefully we will, you know, can at least have enough people to do at least anywhere between 25 to 30 people. That's our goal, hopefully. Maybe even more, but that's our goal. And there are a number of cultural artists who are interested in coming too. So they'll probably be coming with us also. Spoken word, singers, so various artists too. That's it, Shaki.
Thank you so much. All right, so nothing from the West Coast. So is Sister Nancy, was she able to get back on? Oh, I see a hand, Sister Shafia. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I just wanted to, first of all, thank Spirit of Mandela and People Centered for all the work for calling this national mobilization. It's very much needed. And y'all have done so much to put liberation struggles back on the table, back out there, at the center of focus. So, want to, give a whole bunch of alalas for that. Also, I just wanted to add on to Nathan's report, and maybe this might be an idea for some of the folks in the Northeast or coming from other areas, is that, as Nathan had said, we're looking at bans and following down, like potential of following down Route I-85, picking up folks along the way. So our base
Oh
is up
yeah, the South Carolina people.
in
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
like Triangle and East, but there's also folks like Richmond County, but also there are folks in the Triad, which is further down on 85. And so they're mobilizing there and then we're looking at picking up people in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And so folks might think in the Northeast of banding together and kicking in for a series of vans or a couple of vans to be able to help more people get down. I was in a meeting with the Acupuncture Detox Collective on Sunday, and they are talking about coming down. They got people now in Baltimore, DC, who and they're discussing how, getting down there. So I'm sure that if organizations are cooperating with each other, we'd be able to mobilize more folks. Yeah, you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, thinking that people would like to share? Kathleen, go ahead, sister.
Just a couple of practical questions. One is there a way to donate other than PayPal? A lot of folks don't want to do PayPal because of its connection with the Zionists. Can people just send a check? Is there other link or, what other ways, what's possible as far as donating goes? And then are there any hotels that we've linked up with in Atlanta that are offering some kind of discount or anything like that, group discount or anything of that sort? That people could, make use of? I don't know if that's been done or not, but it's not unusual for this many people coming in from out of town to do something like that. So if there is such a list, if it could be made available.
Okay, sister, on that first question, Sister Sophie, I see the two hands, Luis and Bob, but I wanted to get answers back. So Sophie or Matt, would you guys like to speak to that question?
Well,
on how to pay?
Super quickly, yes, for sure, yes. Aside from the fact that, obviously, if you're going to be in Atlanta, we'll take cash. But it's also true that the fiscal sponsor of Spirit of Mandela Coalition is the Alumni Association of the Black Panther Party, National Alumni Association of the Black Panther Party. So writing checks to them with the Spirit of Mandela or July 4th, or people send it in the memo line, will get to us. And we do advise that folks let us know, because snail mail is its own thing. So if you're going to send a check in the mail to us, we kind of want to know it's coming. But that's the main way in which people can donate. in the ways that Kathleen, you suggested.
Can you
Also,
put the name and the address to mail it to, Matt?
I will surely do that. Also, I just want to say something. This is mainly a nod to Baba Jalil, but this has not been a priority. You know, everything people say in appreciation is appreciated, because this has really been an effort, you know, that's been pulled together by folks who haven't done this in a while, to say the least. So we're working on all cylinders and very, very little money and zero corporate sponsorship. But one of the things that Baba Jalil had mentioned some time ago, and we are working towards, you know, the countdown is a month away, but there will be merchandise. There will be some posters you can buy and hopefully some T-shirts. And Baba Jalil already has a T-shirt and a mug of his own. We're our own Liberators brand, Black Dragon, which I got my first mug the other day as a gift. So there will be merchandise, which is another way people can, of course, contribute. So keep on the lookout, because there'll be all of those ways. And absolutely, we respect the fact that PayPal is not many people's favorite option. So thank you, Sister Kathleen. Thank you for all that.
Definitely not mine. All right, Brother Luis, and then Bob.
Yeah, I have two small questions. One is, are we requesting that people who are going to speak hand in their speeches beforehand? This will help in terms of the time that be allocated towards people, and also for content. I don't believe in censorship, but I think it's safe to be on the same page with content, and also for maybe further for publishing a little later, that we can publish the presentations of people. The other thing is, can the watch parties be interactive? Is there going to be a system, a visual system, where maybe we can send videos from the watch party to Atlanta, and they can be viewed on stage, and maybe people from the watch party can ask a question of some of the organizers, something interactive with the people of the watch party, so it won't be, you know, just them watching us, and it could be an interactive experience.
Wonderful question. I'm going to call on Brother Jihad to, you know, maybe say some things about how we're handling that, and as well, Brother Jihad, on are thinking about how to approach the hotel situation. Go ahead, man.
I missed the second part of Comrade Luis's question, but the first one, I can only say that's a very good suggestion about the printed speeches. I'm not into censorship neither, but we do not want people to be spazzed out all over the place and talking about something totally unrelated. You have to get the Johnny Carson hook and pull you off the stage or something. But we definitely have to be focused and intentional about what we're doing. This is a very, very serious organizing effort. It's not spazzing out. It's not your time to shine in the sun. None of that. It's about no, this is a very focused, our arms are wide open for ideas and suggestions, but within that, in relationship to Comrade Luis's question, is very focused. And we're working, as you say, seize the time, and this is a very serious moment that we have. So we will take that, Luis, into consideration. Very good suggestion. The other question was what, Comrade?
They were asking about you know, were
The
we able to get hotels and that type of thing set up. So we talked about this a lot, but just to update people.
For the most part, we'll be probably this week disseminating information about the hotels available. You have to kind of scope out your own Airbnbs. You know, we don't have a budget for you to come. It's just like the March on Washington. You want to come and make up the multitude, then you have to figure that out. But we suggest that you do it collectively, like the Zari's report was, and just trying to work together to raise the funds to get a bus, a van, or whatever to collectively help each other, support each other. We don't have that type of budget that we're working with to like that. So we will provide information about the hotels to make it easier for you to call in and make reservations at those hotels or Airbnb. Try to facilitate by giving phone numbers out so you don't have to look at that. And then you have really, this is an organizing effort. We're not babysitting anybody, and we can't, you know. So you vibe with what's going on. We have 30 days, if you haven't already, to really try to collectively or individually, you know, figure out your MO and how you're going to get here and where you're going to stay. If you have a specific question about something, you can hit me off. I put my email in the chat, or anyone that you may know, Matt, Sister Ashaki or Jalil, we'll be able to accommodate you there. But that's on the hotel tip. It's not like a conference where we know RSVP, we're going to block off some rooms. This is an open event. It's a major mobilizing event, so it's kind of different than you getting a special invitation to come to a conference. Here's the code for the hotel, and because you RSVP, it's not that type of thing. So thank you. I hope I answered that.
All right. Let's see. I think we had Brother Bob, and then I see Paulette. Go ahead, Bob.
And also Nancy seems to be back on. I know we're coming to the end of things, but I'm so excited that Nancy's here. So I want to recognize that.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Bob.
Okay, well, welcome everyone, and just total congratulations on all the planning and envisioning that's been done. This is going to be a really successful weekend, and I'm honored to be asked to be part of coordinating a workshop. So I have 3 suggestions about mobilizing for the weekend, and then 1 question about the workshops. So first is on media outreach. I am willing to coordinate a media outreach effort, but I'd like to know who I should be working with to see if there's not already something that could be a press release. I could help shape it into a press release and come up with a list of left and Black, Latinx, Indigenous media that we could send it to. And also in terms of radio, I'm a producer at Pacifica Station WBAI in New York. I have connections to the Washington, D.C. station and perhaps some others. So I can arrange getting guests on shows before July 4th to build the turnout and just raise awareness more generally, and certainly for watch parties for people who can't go physically. So again, my question would be, who should I coordinate the spokespeople with and that whole effort? So let me stop there, and then I have 2 more suggestions.
Okay, I think we've had a small committee working on that. Brother Jalil, can that come to you to try to help set that up? What Bob is talking about as far as follow-up with media?
In terms of the communications or information
Communications,
or
media, and
media stuff. Yes, Bob, we can work together on that because I got some ideas on that as well. But again, it also has to depend upon who's going to be on the ground, the technicians on the ground. And I don't know whether or not we have
people need to mute. Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't know whether or not we have a link or have identified the technicians on the ground who will be able to, that I need to have that kind of working relationship with. So Jihad, if you know the technicians on the ground who will be doing this, Bob and I will need to have communication with them so that we can set up for both on the radio as well as the watch parties, right? The watch party gonna need to have that hookup as well with those technicians. So that information has to be provided to them so they can make those links, not only for the July 4th, but also for July 5th for the workshops. We need to have the technicians in the workshops so that people will be able to watch or listen into what's being discussed, and perhaps even ask some questions from where they are on the 5 issues or the 6 issues that could be raising on these watch parties. So Bob, yes, we can get together with that, but we have to find out who the technicians are in Atlanta and make those connections and work that out. In regards to let me say one more thing. In regards to I heard what Jihad said about the hotels and stuff. And it's unfortunate that we were not able to identify a specific hotel and try to arrange a discount for maybe 40, 50 rooms. That would have been great. But in terms of doing that, the people would have to RSVP and send in a check or a money order or some kind of forms of for those rooms, right? Make that kind of discount because we can't do it out of hand, out of pocket. But if we were able to set it up where people can say, well, I want to come, here's my $200 for a room, right? And we have 20 or 30 people doing that, then perhaps we can get a discount from a hotel for that purpose. And that maybe someone can look into that. But I don't know whether it's too late for that or not, but that's an excellent idea. So that's all I have to say right at this point in time. I yield. I mean,
Ashaki, mine
Okay.
is in relationship to the hotels. What
Okay,
Jalil
go
said
ahead.
is fine, but Jalil, if people are organizing buses, when they get that bus, they should then decide if they all want to go to a hotel and call in. I've spoken to 2 or 3 hotels. They're not willing to set aside rooms over that holiday weekend without some major deposits, which we can't afford. But if 10 people are in a van and they all want to stay together, they should have someone call the hotel and try and get the rooms that way. But it is a major weekend and they are, rooms are filling up fast. There is one place where people can have a tent, which is out on the farm, but they would then need some way to get from the Springs into Atlanta. So that is available to people who want to camp.
Thank you so much, Paulette. So there'll be follow-up on this, but just keep in mind that people need to move right now to secure some hotel space or Airbnb or whatever they're going to do, because being a holiday weekend, it's filling up, and hotels are very, they're opportunistic during the holiday period. So it's very difficult with the kind of monies that they're trying to bring in to get this set up without having a lot of money to work with. I'm going to just stop now and see if we can just hear a few minutes from Sister Nancy before we close out. If she's able to, were you able to unmute? Okay.
I'm on my
All right,
laptop,
sister.
so I don't know what was going on with my
All
phone.
right, sister. Okay.
Peace. Salaam
All right.
alaikum. Thank you for having me, and my apologies. I gotta admit, I'm a little bit unprepared. I thought this was happening, but I didn't have anything on it. So but it's easy for me to talk about this, right? Because I've been talking about it so long. So people are probably bored of hearing me. But what can I say? I mean, I could draw parallels all day. I feel like most folks, know or can see what's happening on the ground in Palestine. I will say, what I really want to talk, I mean, the basics, right? We know about the land that we know about how this place was created, right? Through this racist nationalist ideology, and then the same thing with those parasites. I'm going to use the famous words of my sister Susan Abul Hawa, and those parasites over there in our country. And the theft of our identity, right? I really want to talk about when I went to Gaza. So some of you probably know, some of you might not, but I went to Gaza in 2024. I'm the executive director of Eyewitness Palestine. I co-founded Existence is Resistance in New York, but with Eyewitness Palestine, we also take delegations. And I was able to take 10 doctors into Gaza in 2024. And it was, everyone was asking about the destruction but for me, all I could see was all the things that my, folks that we taken from here, like activists that we taken over the years, would say to me, like, oh, the things they'd notice is like, you don't have a lot of homeless people in Palestine, right? And then for me, when I walked into Gaza, everybody was homeless. And it was like that more than the destruction, like really, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can cuss, but that fucked my mind up like really bad. Like I couldn't get over that, you know. I would go after we drop off the doctors, I'd go into the tents and like speak to people. And it was like brain surgeons and lawyers and just everyday people. And everyone was all mixed in together and everyone was having to take a crap in a hole in the floor. You know what I'm saying? Outside, like there was no difference between anybody. But the biggest thing that I saw was how fragmented we'd become. And I think that's one of the, you know, some of us know, right? But some of us don't. So they have separated Palestinians so much, right? From the bigger picture of like Palestinians in Palestine to like the Palestinians in the surrounding refugee camps to Palestinians in the diaspora. And I say refugee camps like Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and then Palestinians in the diaspora. But just in the land alone, you know, we refer to each other as Gazans, right? So people that are from Gaza. You have the West Bankers or 67ers, right, who are pushed out in 67. And then you have the 48ers like me. And 48er is somebody who lives or is, you know, Israeli Arab, right? So they take away, obviously, we're not Israeli Arabs, we're Palestinians living under their rule. And so watching that and seeing how folks felt about each area. So, you know, when I was there, they were talking about, you know, why is the West Bank not doing more? Why are they not uprising? Why everyone that feels so left alone in their own way? It's really wild. And then looking at 48, and I don't know whether folks really know, like, it's such a blueprint of what they did to people here in in uh in in 48, right? So Haifa, Nazareth, what they call Israel proper. There are so many weapons. So a cousin of mine about a year and a half ago was shot in broad daylight like 4 times, like mafia style crap, in Nazareth of all places. And it was like 2 p.m. in front of his mom, and it was mistaken identity. However, it made me start reading. And as I'm looking, there's like 400 to 500 Palestinians in 48 in what they call Israel that are dying at the hands of other Palestinians in 48, or you know what they would call Arab on Arab crime. And here's my question. If Palestinians were able to get weapons in like that, right? How would Israel be okay with it? If anything that happens on the land there, the army and it's such a, you know, it's a military state. The surveillance is on a whole nother level. There isn't literally a minute that will go by before there is, you know, you're surrounded by hundreds of occupational soldiers or their pigs or whoever. And so to think that there's so many Palestinians in 48 that live among them that are carrying weapons, I think there's a question there of like, why are there so many weapons? How do Palestinians now have mafias? We didn't have that. Like, we didn't have that kind of crime against each other. We didn't do that to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, there's always like some sick people here and there, but the level of Palestinian on Palestinian crime that is happening, this is all by design. It's literally a blueprint. When people talk to me in Palestine, they're like, oh my God, عندنا مافيا هلا يعني إنه, you know, now we have like mafias. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, all that shit that you don't know about what happened to black folks in America, this is what they did to them. And we're literally just like, you have to educate yourself. This is what I say to them. You have to educate yourself. Sorry. And so I mean, that's the biggest thing for me is like, you can literally see the parallels. You can see them. And Israel, the thing with Israel is, I don't know, of course, we didn't have social media right back in the day here, but they didn't, and I don't believe that they tried to hide it here neither, but they weren't counting on, you know, the videos and photographs. And I'm sure that what we've seen from what happened in this country and continues to happen, is, you know, there's a lot more than what we see, right? Of what there is evidence of. The Israelis love to show you what they do. They get creative with how to kill people. They get creative. I don't know how many people, I mean, the things that they're doing is like, I don't, it's really hard for me. I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't speak that much on public forums anymore because there's nothing I can say that is more powerful than what these devils are showing you. They show you what they do and they talk about it and they're proud of it. They rape Palestinians and put those videos out. They run over pregnant women with bulldozers singing about it while they're doing it, and they put those videos out with their faces. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that I feel that is more powerful to tell you, you know what I mean? That would, like, if that's not enough for you, that I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I honestly, it's out there, it's available, and we just need to act. That's really my thing. Is like, okay, where's the actions at? Let's do it. And I'm here for it. You know, anybody that's known me, I'm ready. Just let me know what you need from me. But I really, one thing I do ask people is don't be silent, don't be scared. That's some coward ass behavior. You cannot, because there are still people alive in Gaza that need us. And we, even if we save one baby from there, you know what I'm saying? Like, that means everything. Like, we need to, the thing with Palestinians, we keep having babies. We have to do what we can to stop this. And I'm somebody that, and I mean, Daqui just went and saw for herself Palestine without org last year. So I ask people to keep speaking out, do what you can. I'm here to do the work in whichever struggle it is that needs me. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm Palestinian, so Palestine is at my forefront, but I'm right is right and wrong is wrong. And there is one oppressor, just one. Just one. So thank you for having me. I appreciate the space.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sister. We appreciate it. Very important. We're all on Palestine Watch, and in the struggle 100% with the Palestinian people to defeat the U.S. imperialism and Zionism. And I mean, these are critical questions going on all over the world, and especially there in Palestine. So thank you, comrade, sister. Okay. Looks like we need to come to a close. It's 9:46, so we're going a little longer than we had. Other questions that people have, maybe if we can send them over email. And we, those of us working on the mobilization and the People's Senate can also try to answer them back. But a lot of good suggestions and ideas came out, and our speakers were wonderful, reminding us of, what our struggle is all about in these ways. So this one actually breaks my heart. But yeah, everybody needs to mute. That's not on program. Okay, I see Sister Daqui's hand. Is that, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just want to say, after Nancy speaking, I mean, what is exciting about this, and really, like, everybody can do something. And so for people that can't come, whatever you're doing in the regions that you're in, like, really getting people to understand. People here don't necessarily understand that we are colonial subjects, right? Palestinian people understand that it's settler colonialism. The people in Puerto Rico understand that it's settler colonialism. People here don't understand because it's a couple of 100 years out of the settlers coming here. But getting people to understand that if we don't fight, like, we are in the stage of this system where there's colonialism and imperialism and white supremacy, where it ain't about Democrats and Republicans, because they're not listening to the people. People are saying, we don't want you to do this. People have taken to the streets all over the world against what's happening in Palestine, in Cuba. They are not listening. These elected officials, these politicians are not listening. So it can only be up to the people to organize, reorganize, rebuild movements, educate themselves, educate others, so that we can stop this genocide from continuing. Because it's more than 250 years, but this is to counter the narrative. Like, people countered the narrative about Asada on Saturday being, quote, a domestic terrorist. We countered that narrative with all those people that showed up at Riverside Church and all the people from around the world who watched it. And so this has to be, whether we're in Atlanta, wherever we are, if it's watch parties, if it's events on the streets, to counter the narrative and help people to understand that your silence will not protect you, that we have to reorganize and rebuild, because they're not fucking listening to us. So we got to make them listen. Right. And I don't have the answers for what people need to do, but I know that we have to rebuild and we have to organize and educate and mobilize. And we got to get off of fucking Zoom. Excuse my language. We got to be like talking to people. That's what's the importance of this gathering. That is people coming together to talk, to learn, to share, to understand that it's one struggle and it's many different fronts. Like the 5 counts is 5 counts, but it's all one struggle. And so when we come together, we look at people, we touch them, we hug them, we meet eye to eye, and we learn and we build on the shared oppression and, most importantly, the shared resistance. So Nancy, thank you, because I want to tell you, I don't know who on this call has ever been to Palestine, but it's one thing to see it, to read about it, and even watch the images on the video. It's one thing to see that, but to be there in person on the ground, it's more inhumane. It's more egregious. It's more an abomination. It is genocidal. It is murderous. It is ugly. It is inhuman. I'm telling you, the terror, the impunity with which Zionists walk the streets of Palestine, murdering unarmed men, women, and children. We think police terror and murder is something here. Well, those are not even the military police. Those are just Israeli citizens. Those are just settlers murdering Palestinian people with impunity. So we have to understand that what is happening in Palestine is happening in our lifetime. What happened to my ancestors, my indigenous ancestors here? What happened to Luis's ancestors, the Taino people and the Arawak people in Puerto Rico, in Puerto Rico? But now it's happening in our lifetime. We're not reading about it. We are seeing it.
Right.
So that's the important. I'm sorry. That's the significance and the importance of this July 4th mobilization. To mobilize, like Jihad said, it's not an event, it is a mobilization. And that's what we have to get across to people, that we want another world. And another world is possible if we dream it, if we envision it, and if we organize to fight for it. That's what we want people to walk away with. That level of energy and that level of understanding. So I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Stop apologizing.
Ain't
Thank you so much.
Ain't nothing to be sorry for.
Well, I took up time.
I'm ready.
We should have had you. We should have had you on.
I'm ready to load up.
Onward to July 4th.
Should have had you on at the beginning.
Orders. We were given our marching orders.
That's right.
Yes. Right. Should have had you on at the beginning. That would have.
No, it's hard to listen.
Forward. Beautiful.
I can just say, Baba Sekou, we did this book with Sister Dekwe. We never let Sister Dekwe go on at the beginning because we could never follow her. She was always the last speaker.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Sister Dekwe, and thank everybody for being here. That was a wonderful closeout for us. Send us off with some inspiration and determination. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and we're going to close the meeting here, and let's mobilize on to July 4th and 5th, Atlanta, Georgia.
Indeed. Ashe.
We'll be in touch.
Ashe.
Assalamu alaikum, folks. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
And
On to the 4th.
Organize.
Ashe.
Organize.
Ashe.